Hello love, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer Laurel Keller. I'm an acrylic and mixed media artist and instructor, but what I really do is help people connect to their soul through nature and art. If you're an artsy person and you've ever felt like you wanted to get out of your soul-sucking job and work in the arts, you're in the right place. So grab something to take notes with, because in this video, we're going to have a fun paint and chat where I'm going to discuss the income streams that I've personally used over the course of my 20-year career working in the arts. During the chat, I'll be working on a mixed media abstract painting over the top of a canvas that I used in a class demo that I worked on with a student. And the painting changes a lot over the course of the painting session, so you'll definitely want to stick around to see how it turns out. And by the time this video comes out, it will be listed in my online shop, which will be linked below. One quick announcement, I've just released a new online class about mixed media abstract painting, which is up on Skillshare. So this is an example of the type of work that you can expect to see in that class. I'll leave you the details about the class at the end of this video. So if you want more step-by-step instructions on how this process is done, you can learn more about that after our paint and chat, and that will also be linked below. So now for the topic of today's video, income streams that I've personally used in the arts. I have 20 income streams total in this list. I don't use all of these right now, but I have at some point over the last 20 years. And I've organized them into 3 categories. In the first category are jobs that I've had as an employee for arts organizations. In the second category are the ways that I've sold my work in real life. And in the third category are all of the ways that I've made money remotely online. For this video, I only wanted to talk about the methods that I've used personally because I want to go into the truth of my experience instead of just a list of every way to make money in the arts that I can think of. So yeah, I'm talking real pros and cons here so that you can save some time and research and get an idea of whether these will be a good fit for you. So okie dokie, off we go. Category number 1, employment in the arts. So the first income stream was a gallery art consultant. This involves hanging shows, working on mailings, writing, gallery sitting, art openings, and sales. And the pros of being a gallery art consultant are that it was really academically stimulating. I saw a lot of artwork coming in and out, and there was always something interesting to look at and talk about. I learned a lot about sales, especially with working with more high-end clients. I was always meeting really interesting artists and collectors. So there was lots of networking going on. And I was also invited to some of the group shows. So there was some avenues for selling my own work every now and then, but not very often. And all in all, it was a nice mix of a professional environment and kind of a quirky environment with a small staff. So all of our ideas were heard. The cons were that it could get really slow. A lot of times during the middle of the week, there really wasn't much going on with traffic. It was more lots of office work, and sometimes there really wasn't anyone visiting. Another thing is that you don't really get to work on many personal projects. With any of the examples in this category of employment in the arts, it's more about working for someone else. You also have to be kind of a gatekeeper for people who want to get their art into the gallery. A lot of people would come in, expect to just show up and show us pictures or paintings, and it was very interruptive. So that happened a lot, and it was kind of annoying. So yeah, don't do that. If you're an artist, don't just walk into a gallery and expect them to critique your work. All right, number 2 is frame designer. This entailed meeting with customers at the frame counter, helping them pick out their frames and their materials, and then coordinating the projects with the frame production team, and assisting clients with change orders or hiccups in the supply chain. The pros of this was I got to do creative designing with the frames, and I also brushed up on my measuring and math for fractions, so I became really quick at that, which was nice. I learned a lot about art handling and archival materials. I met a lot of collectors and some famous artists in my area. And I really enjoyed hearing people's stories about their art and memorabilia. And there was some great training in sales. The cons were that there was a pretty steep learning curve. You have to be really specific on the order forms about measurements, or else the whole frame can get messed up. There was a lot of time working on my feet. I had some rude customers. A lot of people are not prepared for the price point, so I would often have to backtrack to meet their budget. There was a lot of fluctuation in the traffic. It can be very slow and then all of a sudden very busy, so you have to be able to switch gears a lot. I also had to handle very delicate and fragile items with a lot of care, and I got a lot of paper cuts. And some projects are kind of boring. Sometimes I had to work on government jobs where I'd be framing portraits of their staff, which is black and white, professional portraits, things like that, degrees, not so exciting projects. A lot of the time, customers would want frame designs that I thought were terrible, and I just had to go along and concede with their ugly framing designs. But the customer's always right, I suppose. Okay. Number 3, I was an art supply store employee. So this involved working at the register, assisting customers with questions about art supplies, processing shipments, and stocking shelves. The pros were learning in-depth information about all of the type of materials, from paints to printmaking, papers, brushes, canvas, book binding, encaustic, drawing utensils, inks, clay, etc. There's a lot of niche, underground, intricate information about all of those materials, which I learned a lot of, but sometimes it felt like I didn't even scratch the surface. There's so much information. Another advantage was networking. A lot of, again, collectors and artists coming in. I would hear about opportunities in my community, about shows coming up and different things that I could apply for. I also was able to have my artwork showcased in the window, and I sold some work in the window. I also had a lot of like-minded coworkers, and we would nerd out over pigments and different paper qualities and things like that, which was a lot of fun. And the manager of the store was very flexible about our scheduling because all of us had side gigs. We were all creative, and we would have personal projects outside of work, and our work was very understanding about those projects. And it was also really fun brainstorming with the customers about what materials they should buy for their projects. I heard about a lot of really cool ideas, which I would say, okay, well, then you want to buy this adhesive or this type of ink or this type of pen is going to be best on that surface and stuff like that. And we got an employee discount. The cons of working at the art supply store were we got an employee discount, which means that I would burn through my paycheck sometimes, and that paycheck was not very big. So it's very tempting to buy all of these products, and it took me a while to learn that I didn't need everything. Also, long days on my feet and very repetitious tasks like stocking the shelves, looking at teeny tiny SKU numbers on little products. There were also kind of confusing products and niche products like all of the oil paint mediums. I never quite got the hang of those. Rude customers, again, busy holiday season, and also working weekends. Okay, number 4 is Art Auction Operations Specialist. Kind of a mouthful. This involved organizing a huge art collection for a televised auction with hundreds of artists for a fundraiser for a local public television station. And we also had a fancy preview gala. Now, that position is kind of unique, but auctions are common in major cities, so it could be a possibility for you. The pros of this job were I met a ton of people in the art community. This event was a huge draw for galleries, framers, artists, collectors, and major donors. And I got to see the inner workings of a television station, which was pretty cool. I learned how to be on camera. There was a great team and support from the station. And I got to meet Huell Howser, which for you California people, you'll know California Gold if you watch PBS. Huell Howser came and visited sometimes. And one day we had root beer floats in the courtyard of the station. And that was a lot of fun. So I met a kind of important local PBS TV personality. And learning about auctions and bidding was very interesting as well, just in regards to an alternative way to sell artwork. The cons were I worked in a cubicle. It was a high pressure situation. It was pretty fast paced, live television with people calling in bidding and, a phone bank and all that. It was kind of stressful. And I had to be very meticulous in a boring database. There was also a little bit of bureaucracy within the station, and the staff was much larger than I was used to. And also there was not much reward for the artists because they were donating their work. And that is kind of a gray area, which I have some problems with, but they did get their work on television, so there was some trade-off. Okay, now it's time for the category about me providing services and my work in real life as an artist and an instructor. So the 5th income stream is freelance art instructor. This involves giving live classes, private lessons, and doing some artist coaching. And I'm still doing this. The pros are I absolutely love my students. We have a lot of awesome conversations and very creative people. In-person teaching is very rewarding. It's hands-on. The money is decent, and I learn a lot about my own artwork through teaching. The cons are there's a lot of schlepping, especially when I was doing it in another classroom before I got my studio where I could teach in my studio. There was a lot of schlepping of art supplies and canvas and artwork, lots of setup and breakdown. Another thing that I don't like about it is waiting for signups. I don't always fill my classes, and it's just a little bit tense waiting for people to sign up. So that's always feels kind of icky to me. And also there are some students who are kind of blocked creatively, and getting them to break out of their shell and feel more comfortable. It's a good and a bad thing as a teacher. I love it when I can help people, but sometimes people are so blocked that they're blocked. There's nothing I can really do. Okay, so the 6th income stream in real life is selling jewelry at boutiques. I do make jewelry. I don't talk about it that much on this channel, but maybe I will in the future. I take old jewelry, salvage it, break it apart, and reconfigure it with more modern designs. And the pros of this is that jewelry making to me is a very calming practice. I love beading and gluing things to other things. And also the boutiques fulfill the orders for me, so I don't have any shipping or sales that I have to do. I just make the stuff and drop it off and then get a check. The cons are the photography of the jewelry is very challenging. It's very small. And I've had one boutique where I didn't have to photograph, but the one I'm at now has an online shop and they require me to photograph and list my things on their website. I'll have to link that below for you if you want to see my jewelry. But I have a hard time photographing jewelry. The boutique takes a commission, so I don't make the full amount. And trends change, so I have to keep my eye on that. I don't make my jewelry too trendy, but I do like to know what's going on out there in the world. Yeah, it's pretty easy. The money's not that great. It's more of a side gig. Number 7, vintage furniture flipping and vintage decor sales. Okay, this is both online and in real life. So I'll find the furniture to fix it up or reimagine it, paint it, and then sell it. And I use Facebook Marketplace to list it and then arrange to pick it up in real life. The pros are that it's creative. I love thrifting. It's really fun for me. There are tons of old things out there to flip. It's not hard to find them. Sometimes you don't have to do much to the furniture to be able to flip it. If you can get it at a low enough price, all you have to do is kind of clean it up. And Facebook Marketplace is a really nice tool. The days of Craigslist, I feel, are ending, and it's all about Facebook Marketplace for local sales like this. The cons are storage. Storing furniture takes up a lot of space. You can't work on very many things at once unless you have a workshop or like a barn or something like that. Moving heavy furniture is a pain in the butt. I no longer do any of it with something that I can't lift myself. So that's like chairs and coffee tables are as big as I can go. Also, arranging for pickups can be a pain in the butt. A lot of people are just looking around on Facebook Marketplace and will ask about an item and not buy it. Some people say they're going to come by and are very, very late. I only do porch pickups now so that I don't have to meet them right on time. I just set it out and it's up to them to pick it up. Okay, number 8, having my art in galleries. Okay, this is pretty straightforward as far as a concept, but it's actually very intensive. You have to make the art, photograph the art, apply to the gallery, prep the art, write about your art, get them images, deliver it, maybe frame it, attend the opening, market it, and then pick it up. The pros of having your art in a gallery is definitely visibility and art-minded clients. Also, the gallery fulfills the orders. You don't have to deal with the sales, and it's good for your resume. And if it's a successful show, you could make a lot of money. The cons are that it's a lot of work to have a show with no guarantee of sales. The galleries might make a contract that you have to sign where you can't show anywhere else in the area, and they might also require that you bring your sale leads to them so that they can make a commission off of those as well. Number 9, art in alternative spaces. So I have had shows at yoga studios, coffee shops, hair salons, and most recently at the mall. And again, it's a lot of the same process with applying and getting ready and hanging the artwork. It's up to you more to hang the artwork in this case, and then promoting it. So the pros are that the art stands out. You don't have as much competition as you would in a gallery with other artists, and you reach a wider audience. But the cons are that nobody's trying to sell your art for you. That's up to you. And the art isn't as safe as it is in a gallery. My canvases that I had up in an art salon or in a hair salon were covered in hairspray and like product that had been floating around in the air because I tried to paint over one and it like repelled the paint. And also the audience, even though there's more people, not all of them are going to be interested. So, it's a nice thing when it works out, but it doesn't always work out. Okay, number 10 is plein air painting. So this is when you go out and you paint in nature. And if you do it right, you can make sales. So the pros are it's beautiful, it's fun, you get to talk to great people. People will come up and talk to you if you're out in a place that is more populated, like a state park or a beach. You get to travel, and I find it relaxing. The cons are the weather, the travel expenses. You do have to schlep your materials sometimes. And if the cell phone service is not great, you can miss out on a payment. And I have another video all about making money while you travel as an artist, and I'll link that below as well. Okay, number 11, plein air retreats. This combines plein air painting with teaching. I would host retreats where the students were in charge of their own lodgings, and we'd meet at painting locations and have a fabulous time together. It was so satisfying, so fun. We were all just blissed out by the end. So the pros are that you get to paint with people out in nature, and it's very, very fun. The cons are getting signups and some of the legalities, whether you want to have people sign a waiver or you just want to make sure that if anyone gets hurt, that you're not liable. Okay, number 12, commissions. Commissions are when you make a piece of art for somebody who has a specific vision for it. Of this are that the customer gets exactly what they want, hopefully, and it makes them very happy. And you can also charge a little bit more for commissions. The con is that it's not your personal project, so you have to be very vigilant about communication, about the vision, the payment, and the status updates for the project. 13, art fairs. So this is when you go out to a fair and set up a booth and sell your art. There are lots of different kinds of fairs. So the pros of this is that you get in front of shoppers with your art. So it's you and your art together, which is the most effective way to sell your artwork, is being able to talk about it. You're not going to get that opportunity as much with galleries when somebody else is selling your work for you. The cons of an art fair are weather, schlepping big time, setting up and breaking down your booth, and the unknown buying habits of the people at the fair and not knowing what to bring, and also being stuck to your booth. If you have to get up and use the restroom or go grab some food, it's going to be tricky. You might have to get your neighbor to watch your booth for you. And you also have to pay to participate without a guarantee, which is a big red flag for me. It better be really worth it if I have to pay up front. Okay, number 14, open studios and studio tours. This is when you open up your studio to people who are visiting, either by announcing it yourself or getting on a tour. The pros are that you can get people into your studio and have time to talk and show them everything. So it's very immersive and they really get to know you. You also have the opportunity to make special offers. I wouldn't really discount your work, but if you have some studio seconds, or you can do some add-ons, stuff like that, and give them a little bit more value. And then the cons are you have to pay to be on the tour, which in my community is worth it. We have a really successful Sacramento Open Studio Tour. It's affordable. Okay, now we're on to the category of making money online remotely. So number 15 in the income stream is Skillshare. I make online classes and I put them up on Skillshare, where people can watch whenever they want. They are streaming on demand. Then they can post comments and pictures of their projects, and we can talk about them online. So the pros of working on Skillshare is that you can make classes from home. I love not waiting for signups. I just make it, it's up, and I can kind of just return for the comments and make sure everyone's happy in my student community. But I don't have to teach the class over and over and over again. It's done It's there, it's ready. Skillshare also does a really good job of getting students for you. I've had thousands of students on Skillshare. I also love how it's just a creative thing to do. I can make any project into a class, which is really fun. The cons are that it takes a lot of work. The video creating is quite involved. It's a big project, and I don't make that much money per student. It's nice because they generate students. So over time, the classes have paid off. It trickles at first, and over the lifetime of a class, it will bring in a lot of money. So I do have to make more classes to have more income. Skillshare also has high standards for its content. If you have a typo or something that doesn't comply with their guidelines, they will close your class temporarily until you fix the issues, and you also get a strike. So this is something important to understand, that your class has to be totally ready before you put it up. And so if you get more than 3 strikes in 6 months, you get in big trouble. I think they might close your account. I'm not really sure, but it's not good. So you have to be very diligent. Okay, 16 is Udemy. I have also had classes up on Udemy. It's like Skillshare, but it's not quite as creative of a community. The pros are that you can charge more per class. It's not a subscription. They might have added a subscription later. You can charge per class. I just really didn't have a lot of success on Udemy, and I don't use it anymore. 17, I have an online shop on my own website. This is great because I can have full control over it. So that's definitely a pro. And there's no commission. And the cons are that I have to pay for the web hosting and upgrade to the shop level of membership through Wix, which is my website provider. And I have to drive my own traffic and fulfill my own orders. 18 is greeting cards. Okay, so I had a few of my digital artwork designs get picked up by a company that creates wholesale greeting cards. And the pros of this were that it was very enjoyable work. I liked making the designs, and then I just sent them over to the company. They put them on cards and sold them wholesale to businesses that have gift sections and stuff like that. So all I really had to do was make something once, send it over. They would take care of the rest. There was a little bit of a learning curve, but it wasn't bad. And it was scalable. I could just keep going and make more money, but I kind of trailed off on it. The cons of it were that the publishing company took a big chunk of a commission. I really didn't see much money at all, and I wasn't very consistent. Had I been, maybe I would have seen more, but it just wasn't very much money. Okay. 19 is grant money. The grant that I got was not necessarily for an art project, but it was a big COVID relief. It was really great when I needed that. Most grants in the arts are going to be project specific. So the pros are that it's a good bump in money. It's very exciting to receive, and it's good if you want to work with the community or you have a clear project in mind. There's a lot of money out there for purpose-driven projects. The cons are that the application process was very rigorous. There can be a lot of competition for these. You have to have a very clear vision for your work, and there's a lot of questions and hoops to jump through. But it was great to get the grant, and I would definitely try this again. Okay, number 20 is affiliate links or referrals. This is when you refer people to an online service or product. You just make links to other products that you think will be helpful to your audience. So there's very little work involved, But then on the flip side, the cons are that you have to talk about the products and work on selling them. And unused links will sometimes expire if nobody buys anything and you have to apply all over again. But that can be a really interesting way to help your students find the products that they need to do the thing that they want to do. You make a little money and it's at no added expense to the customer. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or would like me to go more in depth on a specific topic that I covered here, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you for stopping by, and stay tuned for a word from today's sponsor, which is me. So more information about the classes in just a moment. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. It's easy and oh so fast, and it will cost you nothing. And if you enjoy my channel and would like to help it grow, think of a friend who enjoys fine art and share it with them so I can spread the creative love and continue to make these videos. My paintings are in my online shop and you'll find the link below. And if you'd like to make more art, I have classes by the dozens. They're all up on Skillshare with step-by-step instructions. So that's it for today. Thanks a million for watching. I'm sending you much love and wish you happy creating. The freedom of art is a beautiful thing. We have the power to create anything we want on the canvas. We can set down our cares and worries and fully take flight. Before I started abstract painting, I thought it would be the easiest genre of art to make because you don't have to make the painting look like anything realistic. But oh goodness, was I wrong, because along with great freedom comes the great unknown. Once we lift off from our comfort zone, it's tricky to know what to do next. In this class, Take Flight with Mixed Media Abstract Painting, you will learn easy painting techniques and unlock the mindset that will level up your confidence. In these step-by-step lessons, you'll discover how to loosen up with a colorful underpainting, create an easy composition with movement and intrigue, pop colors to attract the eye of your audience, collage with unique accents that will peek through the composition, grunge it up just a bit so that your artwork doesn't look too precious, embellish your work to add personality while editing it down so that it's not too busy. Go deeper and stick with the process until the painting is finished. And in the end, I share a quick bonus bling lesson about adding a touch of shimmer to the work, if that's your thing. I'll also demonstrate easy color mixing, contrast, texture, brushwork, and layering techniques so that you can have fun and get in the flow. This class is right for you if you're interested in acrylic painting and mixed media, and you're curious about how freeing abstract painting can be. Or maybe you've tried abstracts and they turned out flat and awkward because you weren't sure how to capture the right colors and light. So if you love playing with rich colors, gorgeous papers, and want to incorporate more mark making into your art, now is your chance. I hope to see you in class.